Hey, oh, my YouTube just loaded. So anyway, I just thought I would come on here on both platforms and talk about today's events. So I've been on before on my Instagram. I've also been on my Facebook, but I had not been on my. This might be a little bit too bright. Shit, I feel like I look like a light bright. That looks better. So anyway, I just thought I would hop on here and we can have a conversation to decompress about how everyone is doing. Number one, because we are still in a pandemic, and or as some people are jokingly calling a panoramic. I think that is comical. And also to talk about today's events that happened at our nation's capital that was attacked by its very citizens because their commander in chief decided to incite a riot during the electoral college validation. And there are just really no words that really come to mind to understand what's the beef. I've said it before and I'll say it again. In 2016, when Raging Orange won and Hillary Clinton lost, many of them stood up and said that Democrats and supporters of Hillary, we need to set our asses down and be quiet because this is God's will, God's plan. Now, when Biden wins, it's cheating. The election was stolen. No. People just got sick and tired of being sick and tired of dealing with the chicanery, the shenanigans, the clownery, the foolery, you name it. Okay? People got tired. Number two, he put us in harm's way. He suppressed information that was needed to keep all of us safe and probably even some parts of the world. If the government was a major corporation, liability has attached and they should be sued and punitive damages should be pursued. But unfortunately, we cannot sue our government unless they give us permission. So I've never seen anything like it on American soil until this last year with the pandemic and white people and white people adjacent running around talking about how they've been oppressed because they've been forced to wear masks. Do not get mad at the health officials. Do not get mad at the government officials who had right good sense to tell you to protect yourselves and others. Oppression, honey, is not being forced to wear a mask. Oppression is being discriminated against for basic needs and essentials. It is sad that you have to put laws on the books to allow people to let you buy the home of your dreams in neighborhoods. It is sad that you have to have laws on the books so that people won't discriminate against you and keep you from making a living because of the color of your skin or your choice of religion or your sex or whatever you name. But on today, what should have been a glorious day for democracy, which it was, because I woke up this morning and I was almost in tears, shaking and crying, tears of joy, because Georgia brought it home for the Senate. John Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock will be going to Washington. I pray their safety. Now, I don't know what prompted the Proud Boys and Antifa and Trump supporters and everyone else to decide that today was a good day to go storm the Capitol. But they did. And it seems to me as though some of these police officers or people pretending to be police officers were complicit in it. We've got footage where they just open up the barricade and just let them come right on in. I'm just like, what just happened? These people climbed the walls, y'all. They were this shit looked like a scene out of Planet of the Apes. I said, these motherfuckers went ape shit crazy on the U.S. Capitol. A federal building where members of Congress, people who make the laws, legislate, advocate. Some of them advocate, others just kind of, I don't know how they did what they did today. All I know is that their God, their cult leader, encouraged it. And some of the members of Congress who are now back about it were complicit in it. Lindsey Graham, Trump's lapdog. He spoke out against it. I'm like, it's too little too late, Lindsey. Remember, you wanted the good old days. Hey, Cheryl. Today is a very exhausting day. My head was starting to hurt. I said, I'm trying to do some work. And I can't work because I'm just sitting up here looking at this like, what just happened to our... And in all of this, I don't believe that anyone should suffer any bodily harm, be killed. But these people went in there, and I figured it out during the news tonight why they did this today. Not only were they pissed off because the Senate is no longer going to be controlled by the good old boys. The Electoral College count was going on. Them motherfuckers stormed the Capitol to try to steal that box and take those in college. I'm just looking like, did you really think you were going to get away with that? That today would be a good day to do that? Yeah, they did. They were bold. And then on top of that, they proved one fact. No wall at the U.S. border is going to keep anyone out. Because hell, if you're at the Capitol, which is supposed to be one of the most secure facilities in the world next to the Pentagon, and they scaled the walls and broke through glass, one dumbass and got shot, and 3 people died today. 3 other people died from what they're calling extreme medical emergency. More deaths will be coming from this. I mean, let's be real. It's Darwinism at work. None of these people had on masks. Just out here flapping in the wind. I've seen footage of people that are in wheelchairs. First of all, how the fuck did they get up all the stairs? Did y'all let them in on the elevator? And I love how there is a young man whose video is circulating where he states that some of the people out here protesting are the very ones who will benefit from some of the policies and legislation put out by the Democrats. But I already know what's going to happen. Y'all still going to be doing a callback from way back from President Reagan's time. Trickle down economics. Dumbasses out here, these young people out here calling him T-Daddy. And he know y'all stupid. Quite frankly, I think since the opioid crackdown, maybe that's what happened. These people didn't have shit else to do since they couldn't get high and forget where the fuck they were and just decided today would be a good day to round up and go get a bunch of Confederate flags and pick up trucks and be the hillbillies that we are. I saw a few black people in there because, you know, the Proud Boys in there. They just a lost cause. Just a lost cause, Jesus. I mean, what do we do? Where do we go from here? Well, here's one of the lessons that Congress can take from this. And my friend posted and wrote it very eloquently, and I will read it and pull it up. I will not identify her because of her particular standing in the community. But it's true. She said, I really hope Congress remembers what it felt like hiding in their offices and the chamber seats in their offices the next time they look at gun control legislation being proposed to prevent school shootings. Hashtag Sandy Hook promise. I hope that Congress also just period now knows what it's like to be hunted down and attacked by crazy people, particularly white people, racist white people, because it's not all of them. Some of my best friends are white women and white guys too. They would never condone any of the shit that went on down at the Capitol. And some of y'all, they also prove that the police do not need de-escalation training. Cheryl, that's a word right there. Preach. Does melon trigger the need to use excessive force? Because let me tell you what also happened. Not only did these motherfuckers go in the Capitol to try to steal the Electoral College ballots, well, when they couldn't get that, what they decided was, we're going to take some souvenirs home. You are on camera with no mask, robbing, looting, stealing, like the thug savages you are, federal property. One motherfucker is proud to have taken a picture of mail he stole from Nancy Pelosi's office. Did you know mail tampering is a federal offense? They don't care. They proud of what they've done. And they figure that there will be no consequences. But here's one I want to tell DC. Don't arrest anybody. Don't bring charges. Just start stacking up them photos for that facial identity, and come January 21st, round them up and lock them up. Because their savior, their cult leader, he'll pardon these people. Watch. If they get convicted, he will try to pardon. Because these are all federal offenses. It happened on federal grounds. And one young lady got shot breaking through the window. What her family say about her crazy ass? Let's see. So the family confirms that the woman that was shot and killed at the Capitol is Ashley Babbitt. Anybody know Ashley in my friend circle? She's from San Diego. She owned a business. Her husband did not come to DC. Her mother-in-law said, I really don't know why she decided to do this. Police have not confirmed the circumstances of the shooting, but from what we do know is that, she got shot and killed for breaking and entering, basically. Never seen anything like it. But yet Black people are labeled to be savages, uneducated. We come from broken homes. As my soror put it, it would appear that that is what has happened to some of these people that decided to turn savage. I said, these motherfuckers went gorilla. But let me say this. You cannot be upset about these election results. And I've said it already before on here. If Turkey Neck Mitch McConnell keeps getting reelected out of one of the poorest states in the nation next to Mississippi and Alabama and a few other states, that ain't cheating. The election, Biden won fair and square. That is why there is a system of checks and balances. And Josh Hawley out of Missouri, I do hope that the people of the state of Missouri, next time it is your time for re-election, vote you out. Because your stupid ass stood up there and said, you still want to contest some of the ballots that came in from the states. Even after you could have almost lost your life at the hand, you could have gotten blown to bits. These people had IEDs. Fucking insane. They could have blown you to bits. How the fuck you get in the Capitol with that type of shit? And you knew this shit was coming. Mayor Bowser, you knew they were coming. How come you didn't do some sort of pre-planning? You did it for Black Lives Matter. You had it. Maybe you didn't know they were coming. Maybe you didn't take it seriously. I don't know. But I tell you this much, like all of my friends, the memes are already starting. And you know what? We laugh, but it's true. Walmart got better security around deodorant than the cops did around that Capitol today. How convenient. One of my other friends said she's seen Black people have more police enforcement at a club than they did at the Capitol today. White privilege. Watching it in real time was traumatizing. It was because you just couldn't believe. You're like, this is not Tiananmen Square. This is not South Korea. This is not Iran. This ain't somewhere in South America. No. This is America. America the beautiful, but it's also America the ugly. And the whole world has now seen just how ugly it can get and how disrespectful and how no decorum a sitting president can have. We know it was you. We know it was him. Remember during the debates, Proud Boys stand down. So this is coordinated, I do believe. I'm very proud of Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and other social media outlets who have suspended his accounts, but it's too little too late. You should have been to suspended his accounts. As a matter of fact, Twitter should have been to shut him down because that's his favorite space to post all the lies and bullshit. And that's why I call him President the Obscurant. Because when you are acting in that capacity, that means that you like to hide information, provide misinformation, wag the dog, so to speak. Look over there, it's a bird. Meanwhile, they robbing. I never thought the day I would see. But you know what? All of the shit that went down before this, them plotting to kidnap the Michigan governor and storming these different state capitals with their weapons and guns ablazing and all that was the test run. They've been plotting and planning for this for a long time. And for some reason, it just was not secure. And I kept wondering, I said, are the Bushes going to say anything? And finally, George W. Bush and Laura Bush put out a formal statement about how this was awful. And the reason why is because I feel like even though they were not our favorite people, they at least, George W. Bush never acted the way that I can't think of any Republican president that acted in the capacity in which Raging Orange has acted. And like I was saying on my Instagram, and I've probably said here a few times, what amazes me and baffles me is how the office of the president has always been that was one of respect. Like, I don't know about you, but growing up as a kid, I didn't know that Ronald Reagan, I didn't know the difference between Republican and Democrats and all that stuff. I just knew that you love, honor, and respect the president because you know why? He's the president of the United States. In school, I don't recall any of me and my elementary friends ever speaking ill about the president. Until now, really, until Obama. I mean, they went after Clinton, but I mean, that's the other thing. Y'all went after Bill Clinton for a cigar and a blowjob and a Gap dress. I mean, and y'all couldn't impeach this man for the shit he's done. He has committed treason. He has violated the Constitution, treaties. I mean, the whole migrant immigrant workers thing down at the border, that whole shit show of separating children from their parents, that Holocaust type method he was using, because see, that's what they did in Auschwitz and all these other internment camps in Europe. Separate families, break them up, and yet y'all did nothing. I really sometimes don't feel like the Democrats work hard enough. Y'all got 2 years. Don't fuck this up. Get gangster with it. Do what you gotta do. We already know that kumbaya across the aisle ain't gonna work. Hell, it's a damn shame when the sitting president can't even go talk to certain Congress people because he already knows that they ain't gonna fucking listen to him because they have no respect for black people. President Obama. That's why he used to always send Joe Biden down the hall sometimes to talk to certain people. I don't understand how you can hold on to so much hate and not have any type of understanding of the human plight. That's why Loeffler and Perdue are no longer going to be serving in the Senate. You're out of touch. A lot of these people that are sitting are out of touch. Some of the newer congressmen, they know what it's like to get evicted, to be homeless, to not have, to wonder where your next meal is coming from, your next dollar. Quite frankly, it's a generational thing too. They don't know what the wants and needs of people in our age groups are sometimes because they're 60, 70, 80 years old, damn near. They don't know. I will say this, Maxine Waters is fully aware of it. I don't know about Nancy though. You know, Chuck seemed like he might understand. But if you want to know what white privilege is, you saw it full frontal. That's white privilege. If black people had done that, they would have shot and killed us. It would have been way more bodies. The body count would have been ridiculous. We would have been beaten, maimed, hosed, rin-tin-tinned, as I like to say. They would have got the dogs on us. They would have shot us with, well, I do believe they would at least have the decency to try the rubber bullets and and bean bags first. But who's to say trigger happy cops wouldn't have shot us? But let's not forget, over the summer, peaceful protests, Black Lives Matter. What did Angry Wig do? Tanks and tear gas. I saw none of that at the Capitol today. So, what was also funny that has also been pointed out about today's events, Blue Lives Matter, don't they? Why did I see you chase a Capitol cop and corner him as if you were going to lynch him, as if this was 1923 or 1921? Tulsa, Rosewood. Why? I mean, the mob mentality was real up in there. I know that cop saw his life flash before him because he didn't know if he was going to make it out the Capitol alive. But you say Blue Lives Matter. You say you're patriotic. If you're patriotic, why would you destroy the Capitol building? Why would you storm it as if it was your last fight at the Alamo? I have never seen such savagery in my life in real time until today. And it is shameful. Shame on all of you who participated in this and thought that this was okay. The world is watching. America is embarrassed. America has become not only the laughing stock, but I wouldn't be surprised if you don't end up on some sort of terrorist watch list. And it's scary to think that some people are so afraid of losing something they are never in jeopardy of losing. In the words of Paul Mooney, as long as you got the skin complexion for the protection from the collection, you'll be fine. You're not going to lose anything. Huh? You're not. So stand down. And as we have all been saying, all of us bloggers and, commentators, whatever you want to call us, I know I'm not as big as some, but I do have a small following. Black people don't go out there. This is not our fight. Let them work that shit out. This is not our fight. Remember, when one of us gets the gun down in the street, what they say, that's not our problem. Well, he shouldn't have been doing so. Look here, buddy. But man, if y'all don't look a hot food on camera, and it's gonna look even better in a mugshot. Damn, I wish I had my law license. You know what? Maybe setting for the federal bar might not be such a bad idea this summer. I could probably actually pass that one. But today it was just sad to see how so many people can be influenced with misinformation. Your president lost. Your leader lost. Okay. Better luck next time. See, unlike you, most of us in the Democrat Party, we play chess. You play checkers. What are you afraid of losing? There is nothing wrong with helping your fellow man. And you know that if you read the Bible. That's the other thing. Y'all always talking about y'all love Jesus. You got, there is nothing Christ-like about what you did today. Jesus would never have showed up at the Capitol and scaled the walls and stole stuff. Now, if stuff wasn't decent and in order, like the Treasury, he might go turn over a few tables and check somebody. But he would have never done that. I don't know. I just felt so like this, it's 2021 and we were like, maybe things will get better. But I am now concerned more now than ever that it is only going to get worse. January 20th is coming. I don't know what these people are plotting. I quite frankly think the whole thing is just going to be locked down. We've already been encouraged not to come, which I will not be going to the inauguration for health and safety reasons and because basically our senators have told us don't go. But if any of you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, this is why we need to come outside of our bubbles. This is why people need to be more open-minded. When this pandemic is over, I do hope that some of you make an effort to reach across the table and get outside your bubble and start to get to know people for who they are and not just judge them because you see a group of Black people or a group of Asians or a group of Latinos and decide that we ain't shit. But I am so disappointed and so ashamed of this. But you know what? You all will, I know what the counter argument is already going to be. Well, when Black Lives Matter was tearing down those statues. Yeah, but they didn't take any statues with them. They just knocked them over and broke them up. And the reason why is because it was symbolic of destroying the very foundation of racism upon which this country was built. This country was robbed of its resources, its people, pillaged, abused. The women were raped. They were given chicken pox, you name it, or smallpox, you name it. And then they stole people from a totally different continent and made them slaves. And then you motherfuckers have the audacity to tell us to go home. This is home for me. I've never been to Africa a day in my life. But trust and believe, I'm going to figure out to get somewhere else. Once my money gets up, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. I can't. I just can't. But maybe, just maybe one day when I run for political office, maybe I can be an influencer and really change lives. I don't know. All I know is that what I saw today on the Capitol steps was horrific. And it made me sick to my stomach. It really did. I just was overcome with grief. And you know what else is funny about this? Maybe they took PTO. But I'm thinking about 50% of those people are unemployed because of the pandemic. So they got time to come and storm the Capitol and pillage and not even think about the repercussions or the consequences of their actions. You see, it is your cult leader that has cost you your job, that has cost you your livelihood. But you're so caught up in his bravado and lies until you can't even see it is him that has cost you. President Obama, former President Obama, has nothing to do with what happened to you. If you lost your job in 2020, it is because of Agent Orange. Your T-Dad. By the way, he does probably like that name because he's always on the golf course setting up a tee here and there. And I think that's pretty much all I had to say about this shit show, this buffoonery and chicanery that went down today. The president did tell his people to go home, but you also told them to come. And I do believe that they are working towards sharing a prison facility with their leader, because that's where he's going after this. So many things. So many things. And Mitch McConnell is too little too late. I'm glad that you see the errors of your ways, but it's too little too late. Because you could have done something a long time ago to stop this. But you did nothing. All you can see, you were blinded by your own ambition. So, the domestic terrorist that destroyed the nation's capital, that caused fear and loathing. Okay? Let's see what else. Yeah. So Donald Trump put out this statement. He says, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. Okay. Meanwhile, in Georgia, because I want to close out on a positive note, we stay on point like Stacey Abrams. Hey! And I've said this before in another video, but my YouTube crowd did not hear this. So Stacey Abrams, fair fight. Shout out to sis. Because it is her work, her grassroots. Get out there, touch as many people as you can, get them registered to vote. Motivate them to want to stand in line. See, here in Georgia, Brian Kemp stole the election. He had a conflict of interest when he was running for governor because he was in charge of ballots on the election process. And Stacey lost. and we were devastated. But sometimes an L is a win. So now we brought it home. We brought home what? The presidential race. We brought home the Senate. Georgia, I'm so very proud of us. And I know it's a lot of us that are angry. And you know what they're also saying? Fucking carpetbaggers. Yes, I'm not even from Georgia originally. I'm actually Mississippi born and Texas raised. And I spent 11 years of my life in California. And then I moved here. But I've always been a liberal. Okay. I'm probably 98% liberal. There's a couple of things I have a problem with, but other than that, yeah, I know they pissed. Goddamn, how people from California that came out here and fucked up everything. Yeah, we gonna paint your little town blue. How you doing? Yeah. So I'm so happy that this has happened. I do hope again that the Democrats make it do what it do. Forgive me, Sister Michelle Obama. You are one of my favorite people, okay? I admire you so much. But I think we need to start going low and kicking. We need to get in the sandbox and fight because it is not fair that they get to go low. I mean, they get to go low and we supposed to go high. No, let's get on their level. Look them eye to eye. Mano. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Because we're going to fight for everything. There's no kumbaya. There is no reasoning with people whose minds are already made up before you can even articulate one word of reason to them. So let that shit go. That's like beating a dead horse. There's no need to be violent. That's what we do not do. But there is a need to fight fire with fire. You know how some of you all are lawyers there in Capitol Hill, how you bury people in petitions and motions and hearings and all that stuff? Use that strategy. Because ain't nobody getting shit if we don't get what we want. Okay? There is no concession. And the number one problem that all of us have been facing in this generation, my generation, any of us that went to school in the late 80s and 90s and so forth, we're drowning in debt and we need a bailout. President Biden, I'm very disappointed when you were up here saying things like we're only going to give $10,000 off. You know what? Y'all already gave me $10,000 off my student loans because that was part of my GI Bill as a reservist. If you don't want to forgive my student loans, that's fine. But at the very least, and the other thing is, please stop leaving out people who did not choose to go to public service and engage in low salaries and any of that. I would have if I had gotten licensed because I definitely want to be a public defender for 5 to 10 years. I definitely want to do that. You cannot accept out one. Okay. And then include all the rest. That's not how this is going to go down. What we want is either forgiveness completely, full exoneration, or I want a bailout. It should not be taxable to me as a taxable income credit, or whatever it is y'all do. We don't want that. You know what? You could just put in the bankruptcy code and make it dischargeable like any other consumer debt. Or 3, here's the other option. Turn interest off completely. Enough is enough. If I was to pay exactly what I owe, I would be living in my car. There is no way I could afford rent and my other bills paying $2,000 a month in student loans. Yes, I signed for them. Yes, I took them out. But at the time, I was a young, ignorant 18, 19-year-old. And I was taking a gamble on myself because I knew I would perform well as a student and I knew I would be able to get a job. But so many mitigating and intervening causes have happened in the time since I went to school. We've had several crashes the housing market. When 9/11 happened, that disrupted the economy. So many things have happened. It's time. It's time. Or how about this? How about if we, as long as we pay up to $50,000 on our loan, you'll forgive them. And anyone else who has paid off their loans, give them a little $10,000 credit for that. How about that? That sounds reasonable. Either way, anyone who wants to join me in this fight against student loans, let's get together and have conversations about it, because I really, really get pissed off when I look at my statements from Nelnet. Like, how the fuck did this happen? But you told me, go to school, Afia, you can get a job. I am 44 years old. I have been out of law school since 2006. I am just now making the salary I should have been making when I got out of school. Instead, what happened to me is that in order for me to make the salary I need to make, I had to work 2 jobs. And then one job played out because I was an online professor for 9 years. Now, all of a sudden, they stopped assigning me classes because class sizes started to shrink and they didn't need me. 9 years, I worked 2 jobs because the organization I worked for full-time, they're cheap. And they also have a problem with black talent. That's what their CEO said. They can't find qualified black talent. Anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox. But again, on a happier note, Georgia, we did that. Thank you, Stacey Abrams, and all the others who worked on Offsoft campaign. I'm so sorry I could not do my volunteer and work with you guys. I really, really wanted to. But I did the best I could via my social media to encourage friends and family who live here or who have friends and family that live here in the state of Georgia to definitely vote for you and Warnock. And we did that. So Loeffler and Purdue, they can go home and lap in the luxury of their richness. So anyway, we are still in a pandemic, people. Please wear your mask, be safe, and let's send up a prayer to touch the hearts and minds of those that are hardened against democracy. Because what we saw was anarchy and chaos today. And if you are traumatized and you need to talk to my friends and family, feel free to inbox me or text me or call me. I'm getting ready to go to bed because I need to get up in the morning because this whole thing disrupted my schedule. And I didn't achieve shit after that. I was like, I don't know, but I was just so lost afterwards. I really was. It just was. Hey, Slim Jim, how are you? I'm just now seeing your comment here. Let's see, did anybody else comment? Well, good night, Cheryl. I don't know if you're still watching, but good night, and whomever is watching, hang in the background. Good night. I have been Miss Sophia the Diva. Thank you for joining me. The few people that did to have a conversation about today's events. It was very disappointing and disheartening, but it just goes to show you how they act when they don't get their way. What I saw was 3-year-olds in adult bodies having a big ass tantrum because shit didn't go the way they thought it should go. Life ain't fair, honey. Remember, God's plan, the African angel said yes to all of this. Yay, Georgia. Georgia Peach in the house. Good night.